Welcome back to another warm-up show with the hockey coach Guru, Coach Francis, directly from the Sunshine State in Florida. And we have to go all the way to Toronto and the frozen place to find Mr. ENORTAP. We apologize for some of you. We was live, but only on the wrong location. So that's what the reason we are late, behind 5 minutes. We are singing a song. ENORTAP was dancing, jumping all over the place. But we was not at the right spot. And finally, we decided to come back and changing. So we stopped the another one, and we restart at that location. So we apologize for that mistake. It's happening sometimes. It's not the end of the world. Everybody coming back at the right time anyway. It's not a problem. It's a Thursday. Happy, thankfully, Thursday for everybody. January 6, 2021. It's 5 o'clock. 5 Eastern Time. We have Mr. ENORTAP, a really busy evening in NHL. Maybe the first time since we are back from the holidays with 11 games. We're going to go through this. Mr. ENORTAP is going to explain every game. Go to start a little bit earlier, ENORTAP, so give us about 30 minutes to do that, so there's a little bit more time to talk about each game, everything like that, plus the fantasy at the end of the evening. We have to congratulate a couple of people have a 2-0 yesterday. Congratulations for those people. Me and you, we did not do it. We got 1-1. The St. Louis Blues dropped their game 5-3 against Pittsburgh. They won their 9th straight game. Nobody have the right score, by the way, Mr. ENORTAP. But we have to congratulate Keaton. We have to congratulate Mr. Steve G. I have 2-0, and I missed someone. I just have to wait for the ones to show up at the bottom. Oh, hey, Koivula. I got a 2-0 yesterday. So congratulations for 3 of them. And the rest of us, we have a 1-1. And I did not put the people of 0-2. I don't want to buy, Of course not, no. I don't want to put them there. But we can tell them who he was. Just kidding. We don't go into that way we're there. We don't tell them who he was, 0-2. But we have a few people back in the house, all the way directly from Sherbrooke, dans la belle province de Québec, Mr. Bono, Nicolas de Goubi, Bono. From Lille Perrault, Mr. Richard Mullen is in the house tonight.
Welcome, Richard.
Luc Lafortune, de retour avec nous ce soir à 5 heures. Ça nous fait plaisir de voir mon Luc avec nous. J'espère, Luc, tout va bien, que tu as passé une belle semaine jusqu'à présentement. Directly from Alberta, -20. I'm pretty sure it's -20 over there, Mr. ENORTAP. I'm talking about Andy Koivula, a Finlander.
Welcome, Andy. Congratulations.
Mr. Danny T, welcome aboard. He's already put Matt, his kid, already. Imagine this one over there. I'm not sure if this kid like the Leaf or the Toronto or the Montreal Canadiens.
I think he's a Montreal
I don't know about that,
fan.
but we'll see what happens about this. Ragu. It's a long time I didn't hear the word ragu in French, Danny. So glad to hear that. What about from New York, north of New York, Mr. Jose Duarte in the house?
Welcome, Jose.
You are awesome. Yes, she's back. Welcome back, Miss Kelly. She's back from Toronto. I'm sure she's happy about her score, but not her score, but her Toronto Maple Leaf win yesterday, 4-2. Unfortunately, Matthews was not much yesterday, unfortunately. Only one pass, but Kelly, at the end of the day, your team win 4-2. That's the most important thing. So.
Welcome, Kelly.
I was 0 for everything yesterday, Mr. Richard. Don't tell to anybody about that. Mr. Ryan Kirk, back in the house tonight. Mr. Ryan was there yesterday. Thanks for joining us today, Mr. Ryan Kirk.
Welcome, Ryan.
From Utah. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes from Utah. Mr. Round with Kingston winning is in the house. Number 1 friend of Los Angeles Kings. Tonight, they play at home at the late game. Will be interesting. They have a good team. Again, they're going to play, so it'll be interesting how the Kings, how they're going to respond, because Nashville are flying right now all the way up. So Forsberg and Duchesne, Zaros, everybody will be interesting about this. I wish it was -20. So he said he wished. So it's more at -20.
Well, if it's minus 30 and he's wishing for minus 20, I understand.
Yeah, that's cool. But what about Mr. from Toronto, your neighbor, Mr. ENORTAP? We have a neighbor, Kelly. Now we have the neighbor, Kevin, DP, in the house.
Welcome, Kevin.
And Ozzy asked you this question to you. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I saw that today. They waived Richie. I mean, and now that's a couple of teams that this has happened to, with Boston and Toronto. You know, he's had a streak of bad luck, and like he had his chances here in Toronto. It's not like he was confined to the third or fourth line. At some points, he was even put on the first line. So, unfortunately, you know, you're making that kind of money, and you got to produce is the name of the game, I guess.
Very surprised he didn't produce over there. You know, he signed a contract 2 years at $2.5 million. They was expect more him compared to Andre Case to perform over there. He have what 20 goals last season with Boston Bruins or something like that, and he have only one goal this year with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Can he attract some people? I don't know. The only way Jose to drop him down, you have to go through the waiver, and I don't think so. He can be on the taxi squad. Mr. ENORTAP, because you have $2.5 million, and the only people who can be on the taxi squad is below $1 million. So you have to go back at Toronto Marley. So another story to see that, how he can get there. You know, he does not play the level he should play, honestly, but it would be interesting if someone get there. My kid are the Montreal Canadiens, so they have at least, you have the smart kids. That's the most important things. The dad is maybe crazy, but the kids are pretty good. I'm proud of them. You just let them know. Coach Frenchy said, we love you. They love you guys, and they like the fact you're Montreal Canadiens. Les racontent battre le cochon. Eh oui, in French. Here we go. Luc Lafontaine, he répond this in French. That's funny. And Mr. RJ Calabro in the house with all the update of tomorrow.
Welcome, RJ.
From Finland, directly from Finland, we have Mr. Salut Yamo Vartanen join us today. Thank you so much, Yamo, to join us. Thanks to be a part of the show tonight. We have also King Struggle, again, the Predator, usually. So that's what we thought. That's why the reason we think the Nashville could win tonight. We have the scout in the house. Mr. Alex Itzubik is in the house. Welcome aboard.
Bonjour, Alex.
Zev Lecab, welcome aboard. So I'm watching the Panthers and the Rangers. I'm watching tonight. The Panthers play at 8:30 against the Dallas Stars. And the Rangers, big game tonight. Again, the Vegas Golden Knight. Maybe we're going to see. It's hard now. Adam is back at the school, so Adam cannot be there with us this afternoon. It's only 2 o'clock Pacific time in Vegas. So I don't think so. But you maybe stop by to give us some information. Je veux Richard Montréal, ça peut être un bon move. Alexis, we have about 25 winger. I don't think so. We need Richie at $2.5 million. We have Joel Armia, does not produce Alexis. We have too many players right now. I prefer to have Ilonen. I prefer to have Cole Caulfield. I prefer to have the young kids. Let them play.
That's right.
About that one over there. Let Richie a problem over there. He's too much money. You have only one goal, Alexis, this year. Only one with Toronto. Imagine with Montreal. That'd be worse. Richie, another will be the bulk. Yes, Ross. First of all, Ross, thanks for joining us today. So it looked like Danny is the exception at the rules in ENORTAP. My 7 kids, my bro, my mom are Canadian, the wife, and Ottawa, of course, and I'm the leave go. So I can imagine everybody in the same room with different jersey. I'd be interested to take a picture of this. That right, coach, let the young play. Yes, my Danny, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. I think for Toronto, guys, we have to give credit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand yesterday. Not you understand, but Mikheyev, right, Engvall, they have a lot of good deep players over there. I will let them play more at Richie at the end of the day. Perlini is another player who played for Edmonton yesterday. Scored a goal of only 9 minutes TOI. So we have something that Dave Tippett does not like for Perlini at some point, but Coach, fais-tu le match de ce soir, Lightning? Non, Alexis. Malheureusement, je ne sais pas ce que je vais faire. Peut-être que je ne ferai rien ce soir à cause de ma gorge. Very good job, Danny. Montreal will trade for prospect only for now. Yeah, I agree with you about this. Look, we talked about this morning where I believe that's the time to get there. And the 4 picks, big draft pick, everything like that. We don't need to add players, at least, like you said, prospect or a player can helping the team. But I agree with you, look, about that one over there. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. We're 16-15, so we missed 1 like, so it's maybe me. Not just kidding. So, Mr. ENORTAP, we have a 15. We rock and roll a bit quicker tonight to be sure we have a time to say hi to everybody. And I'm Detroit canceling. Mr. ENORTAP.
I hadn't heard of that.
I just, from Yamo, I just heard about that. About this. Hey guys, Mr. The Cookies and Mr. the Retirement, Joseph Laham and the house. Joseph, if your name is not at the bottom of the screens because you did not do well last night, so I did not forget you. Ben oui, moi, Alexis, c'est ça qui va arriver peut-être, je sais pas. On va voir comment ça va aller ce soir. Entre 6h et 8h30. On va voir. J'aime bien ça faire des live streams, donc je vais peut-être venir, on va voir comment ça va aller. Montreal gave a great player. They just need to be shaking up, Danny. I agree with you about that one today. It's been postponed to January 9 from Yarmo. We have the 6 and 3 days, so it'll be Saturday. About that, like you said, Cole, just retool, not rebuild. Jose, I agree with you. Not a problem, Yarmo. To reschedule the 9, Mr. ENORTAP. Yep, it is canceling. Kelly, she's the secondary of the show. She always come back with the right information, Kelly, and I'm sure the dad follow a lot behind. So thanks, Kelly. Tell your dad thank you so much. I will be curious, Kelly, who did you pick tonight for your Tim Horton about that? 8h30, mon Alexis. Si on vient ce soir, 8h30. So in our top, we are pretty much at the zone. When I'm talking about, we have 18 right now, so it's pretty cool. I just want to know more about you, what you think about what you pay the most attention for the last 24 hours. Only 2 games in NHL, but maybe some news happening. So we welcome you. We open you the door. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. And the next 15 minutes, guys, tonight we start at 5:30. We're going to go prediction. We have 11 games, so don't go nowhere. Yesterday, I said let's rebuild. All right.
Yeah, we can definitely have a look at that 11th game. I'm still looking here to see if it's on the NHL site, but I don't seem to see it yet posted. From yesterday, Coach, we only had the 2 games. Obviously, the Leaf and Oiler game was actually quite exciting. I thought that both teams played very well. I thought that at times Smith really kept Edmonton in the game with some key saves. In the end, there were just too many turnovers that Edmonton committed, especially in their own end zone. And you can't be doing that against the Leafs. They will capitalize eventually. So that game, it's for Edmonton. It's going to be a very slippery slope from here on in terms of what they're going to do. Maybe they're not going to do anything, but I think they just can't continue like this. Something has to happen, whether they address goaltending, whether they look at Tippett as the easiest way out. The second game, the Pittsburgh Penguins and St. Louis, was also a very exciting game. It was pretty much tied for most of the game. St. Louis took the lead. Then we had that, as you said this morning, they started to poke the bear. And even though Crosby got hit pretty hard, I mean, he responded with a couple points later on. That controversial goal, which then led to a challenge by St. Louis. It was not revoked, so therefore they incurred a penalty, of which Pittsburgh scored a goal, and it completely changed the game at that point. So I'm sure St. Louis learned something from that as well. And you can't underestimate Pittsburgh. Here they are again. Just when you think um, they could be running into a hot team and lose, they find a way.
Unbelievable. He does this without Malkin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those players coming back, Rask, Wenzel, and now they find a way. Ratria have a good year. They did play with Collar yesterday also, and St. Louis almost the full staff over there.
And we
Sam
saw
Smith, welcome aboard.
we saw Rodriguez also get 2 points again last night. Gunsel as well. Like they're getting contributions from everybody up and down the lineup. That's for sure.
Yeah, welcome, Mr. Adam. You have a meeting for the swim team. Good luck, Mr. Adam. That's the first one. So thanks to stop by. Don't forget to click on the like. That'd be great. We're not going to the stop, but we can stop at the salon to get my whiskey and come back later. Just kidding, Mr. ENORTAP. There
It's
was a
closed.
comment from Jose about that. But Sam Smith, I have a question for you. How do you feel about the Oilers coaching calling out is a goaltender Bilik and then goaler said I cannot score a goal? It was the same point mentioned by Mr. Andy Koivula.
Yeah, I personally, I'm not about airing dirty laundry in the public eye. I think if that was Tippett's intention to call anybody out, I mean, it should have been done privately. I think Koskinen responded in his own way by saying, I can't score any goals. Yes, I have to play better, but I'm not out there to score goals. So. Um, it's not my style. Some people get motivated by that type of thing, but the majority don't. They don't want obviously to be brought out in the limelight like that.
Yeah, so something get out this morning about the fact it was, sometimes this was report in Finland. There are some reporter over there. There's misinterpretation about the
Yeah,
coach and Koskinen, everything like that. So it was something about he mentioned about it. Now, honestly, we can talk about this, but what I will say to you is, from what we heard last night, everything was perfectly good. Koskinen was back in the chair at the bench. Tippe was coaching. It's happened. Obviously, it's rare, but again, some said it was outside the context, everything like that. So I don't know
yeah.
honestly about that one there. Is Koskinen what he said after that, after the coach. But at the end of the day, it's not only the goaltender. If you really watch, I really pay attention to the game, the last two games. I really, 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 really pay attention. And I really believe, of course, the goaltender is a problem or one of the problem in our top. But I still believe the biggest problem is the defense.
It's a
Because
defense
other
and
than
the
fact
third
like
and fourth
Bouchard,
line.
if you take out Bouchard of the equation, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Nurse struggled a lot. Nurse gave away a lot of buck. Nurse does not play the level he should be because he should be number one. Barry, nothing there. And then Sissy and Duncan Kate on the ice. But Duncan Kate, guys, he showed to me his
he's
age now.
passed.
Is not the same Duncan Kate we know about that. For me, it's a one area. Of course, we can talk about the bottom six and the fact they don't score a lot of goal. And, you know what I mean? I can go that way. But I understand the goaltender is one problem. But the defense for me is really where, because it's really important when you have a good defense in our top to relance the transition to all the way join the play and the figure and nurse. Everything he does right now, it's not accomplish anything at the end of the day. Turn the puck, shoot beside the net. He does not hit like he was. I see him turn around the puck, miscommunication. He's really struggled, and he feel the $9 million on his shoulder more and more at that moment. I don't know if it's going to be a mistake. We're going to see this in the next couple of years. But for me, Edmonton is one area they have to find a way to get better. You cannot complain about too much about Coco. You know what I mean? Like he's a 9 right there. I think his number 84 is Lagerson, whatever, Lagenson, whatever his last name.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's one of the under the part of the game. I think people don't pay too much attention. Is the way the defensemen play for the Edmonton is one of the biggest problem. Also with the goaltender and the bottom over there.
No, you're absolutely right, and I think you have to look maybe maybe he's drawn a lot of ice time, maybe more so than he can handle. So, that could be the case. And we were talking about this morning, like guys like Lehkonen that are, on the third, fourth line. They seem to embrace the fact that they're on that line. They know they're role players. They know that they're not out there necessarily to go and score 20 plus goals. They have a role and they fulfill it to the best of their ability. And that's what makes them effective. And I just don't see that even with the Edmonton Oilers. I see a lot of the players on the third and fourth line that think they should be higher up, and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yep, absolutely right about that one there. Welcome back, Mr. Whitey in the house. Thank you for us tonight, Mr. Whitey. Thank you so much, Alexi. Mr. Alexi, for your kind of word. And Renaud said, nurse play like Petri, it's not good work. I think for me, it's like the play he did is the what the expectation are not reached for both players. Yeah, it's fun players, but I can understand, Renaud, what you try to tell us about that one over there. Smith is like a quick a prize. The team expect more from them and they can do. Mike Smith, the problem run is because they gave a contract as a goaltender number 2 at $2 million because you have a salary cap problem, can't hold him, and you cannot give the goal, the net at 2 point something at 41 years old, and plus a 2-year contract for me is a little bit problem with that. Mr. Dixon, welcome aboard.
Welcome, Dixon.
I'll be honest with you, Dixon. You better to give Chariot with Armia, just give it to them, and then get a first-round pick to get there. Because the fact for Dixon about Armia is not because you gave the win; it's because you also open up $3.4 million for 2 years, still remaining on his contract, and that's what the most important thing for me. Unfortunately, I thought he will be at some point better. I think a trade I will do is Joel Armia and ENORTAP, and I think we don't talk a lot, and I could be wrong here. I would trade Joel Armia to Chicago and return a Strom. Both players does not produce. Both players the same similar money. Of course, Strom is a bit low, cheap, younger, right? But both of them does not do anything for the team right now. Both of them maybe try to get out of the town, everything like that, to have a meeting. Sometimes a new team, a new challenge or a new start, helping those kind of players. So that would be one I will look about that one over there for Chicago, like they did with Nylander. They just trade Nylander against Lafferty. That's the kind of players right now. Strong be interesting if he's going to change address with Chicago, where I believe they're going to be really, really, really active in the next couple of weeks about trade left and right. Mr. Kevin, Coach, you doing a game tonight? I'm still not sure, Kevin. If I do one, I'll be 8:30. If not, I'll skip because of my throat. But we'll see about that. It was a Leaf fan. I would be concerned the performance last night. And then, Russell, we said to you one thing about that. I believe me,
Yes.
when you get out like the holidays, you not play at the same level. Sometimes you're rusty and you stop. But I can understand the way. I would not be too much worried about that. They did enough to win that. I think the Edmonton have to give credit. They make some more effort. You can see the forecheck was very intense. Fogel tried to play a lot hard. I think for me, it's a part of the season. Sometimes the preparation, you're going to win because they know they don't have McDavid. Every time that, I think the preparation was not even. For me, it's more about the preparation of that game, more the execution overall. They did what they did. They won the game. And but unfortunately, we did not see a lot about Marner, Matthews overall. We see a little bit more the secondary, the third line, the Mikaev, the Eggval yesterday, David Cam, about that one of them. Muzzin joined the part now play that's helping their balance, their defensemen. Campbell make the big save at the right time. But for me, we said I focus more on the credit for Edmonton. Without McDavid, I thought it was going to be easy game for Toronto, and then they step up more. And you cannot blame too much Mike Smith yesterday for me. It's just the defense again showed the lack of the problem they have over there. Exchanging problem. Yes, exactly, like, unfortunately. He took a power play and empty net goal for Toronto to win by 2. Yes, I understand that part over there, Ross, for sure. Yeah, they could do done better, Ross, but that win is a win, 2 point. But I can you said exactly what I said, Danny. I agree with you about that one over there. 5:29, Mr. ENORTAP. We have to jump in on the thing, but I just want to mention to you, we got a news: the Seattle's Kraken, Jaden Schwartz out for 6 weeks. So an injury, surgery, 6 week out. McEnroy is out also for tonight. But I just want to mention to be about that. And
the
and
Seattle
again,
Wolves continue.
what?
The Seattle Wolves will continue.
Yeah.
That's one of their best offensive players.
Who is it? What this says? Soupy play an amazing game. Soup, guys, is the name of Mikhaev, by the way. Soup Mikhaev. So that's one to let you know. I need really chicken noodle soup tonight. So I'm going to take a soup a la Mikhaev tonight. Player with $5 million less cap is a tradable asset no matter comment about the team on the ice. Coach ENORTAP, and the first is what McDavid Matthews are in the same team. Would he hurt the team, or do I have two superstars like them on the same team? Help. Before ENORTAP and Sir Ron, think about this. Do you think the combination Malkin and Crosby is bad, or do you think like Taze and Kane is bad? For me, my source said no. I think it would be amazing to have both of them. A little bit what Matthew is with Tavares at the end of the day. A little bit what McDavid is with Trussell. I don't know, you have other answer of what I just said to him.
No, I agree. You look around the league, some of the most successful organizations have a strong two players on the same line usually, but not necessarily. Sometimes they're split. You look at Boston, you look at Edmonton, you look at Minnesota, Toronto, and you can just go down the list. It doesn't hurt. As a matter of fact, Marner and Matthews were, prior to last year, they were really connecting. You know, if one had the goal, the other one had the assists. So clearly something's a little bit off. I think Marner has to sort of look in the mirror a little bit and try to correct that part of it. I think there's nothing wrong with having two superstars there.
Yep, I agree with you. I make a mistake. I said Mikhail. I will have said what you said, Campbell, by the way, so I apologize for that one over there. We are back here, Mr. ENORTAP. We do always at the beginning the contest of who are they. And tonight, guys, I have 4. And the first one is easy. The second one is pretty good. The third one is getting a bit harder. And the last one, congratulations, if you get it. So let's start in with that one over there. The first one is this one, easy here. I'm pretty sure we have already a winner. We have Mr. Yamo, he was the first one. Andy was the second one. And we have also Luc Lafortune. Got it. Mr. ENORTAP, you can mention.
Yeah, Simon, for sure.
You got it. Yeah. Number 2.
Big boy. Ooh, who's that?
Congratulations, Jose. Another easy one. Sandin Anderson. Ross did it, Mr. ENORTAP. You don't need your help. Kevin Weeks for Ross and Ron. And Yamo tried to get the name out, and look, you get Reeves, Kelly Weeks, Steve Weeks. That's a good try. Kevin, look, Lafferty, congratulations. It's getting harder, guys, now.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready for that one?
Here come the black and whites. No. Oh, boy.
Kelly said, tell her how. Wow, we have one good answer, Mr. ENORTAP.
Luke.
Jean-Sébastien Giguère.
Oui.
Nicolas de Gobi Bono get it also. So, Redzilla for Renault was a good try with there, Ron Berduzzi. But congratulations, Mr. Luc Lafortune and Nicolas. Well done, guys. That's pretty good about that. Now, the next picture, guys, it's an ex-NHL players and NHL players. The ex-NHL player, it will be easy. As easy. But the one sit on him, good luck.
The one sitting on him. Okay. Oh, it can only be his son, I think.
One got Peter Forsberg. All right, you got
Yes.
it. Who the little one? Oh, Yamo did it.
Yes.
Yamo did it. Forsberg and Matt Zuccarello. Forsberg is Saku. Luke said a good try. Forsberg and Matthews. Quinn Hughes. No, it's Matt Zuccarello. Congratulations, Mr. Yamo. I don't know how you did that. Can you tell us how did you recognize Matt? How did you recognize Matt Zuccarello? Honestly, I don't know how you did that, but you did
That's
it.
a tough one.
Congratulations
That's great.
about that one over there. I'm glad to see those kind of situation about that. So ENORTAP for the next 23 minutes. You're all in. Thank you, Coach. I will send the cash letter today. Yamo.
Okay.
The game odds friend ENORTAP.
I noticed. Okay. So first game we have Minnesota and Boston. Okay, so they've Pasternak and the Bruins are looking to keep the momentum rolling for the Bruins as they host Minnesota. Finally, Pasta Man there, he snapped a 9-game goal drought with a key goal the other night on Tuesday against New Jersey that sealed the win for them at 5-3. The win gave the Bruins their third straight victory coming out of the break, and it marked Boston's first and only 3-game winning streak so far this year. So they're going to look, obviously, to extend that. In the team's third game since breaking up the line of Marchand and Bergeron and Pasternak, the Bruins are suddenly starting to get some production from unexpected sources, guys like Curtis Lazar and Steen. Trent Frederick has also scored, and that's helped out a lot as well. Even Brandon Carlos chipped in with some key and timely points that he's gotten along the way. They still have, I think, Thomas Nosek and Jake DeBrusk that are on COVID protocol. Minnesota, on the other hand, has gone winless over its last 5 games, just when they looked like they were invincible. The Wild last played on New Year's Day in the Winter Classic when they fell 6-4 at the hands of the Blues on that very cold night. On Tuesday, the Wild recalled highly touted forwards Matt Boldy and Marco Rossi from the AHL's Iowa squad to join the taxi squad as well. So I'm sure at some point we will be seeing those two young prospects in action. Talbot is still out indefinitely with that lower body injury, and they had to recall goalie Andrew Hammond from the taxi squad to back up there. So there's some concerns still there with Minnesota. I'm going to go with the hot hand tonight, and I think Bruins will prevail again, 4-2, Coach.
Boston.
Okay, next we have the Sharks, who look to turn things around when their 4-game road trip begins with Buffalo tonight. The Sharks have dropped the first 2 games of the trip as they're on that Western Conference playoff hunt, and they want to make sure that they stay in that hunt. It's going to be an uphill battle for them. I don't particularly and personally think that they will, but they can't start falling behind at this point. Uh, However, they have allowed San Jose 28 goals in their past 5 games and have gone 2-3 in that time. So that's not a good recipe for success, obviously. San Jose played without Logan Couture in those games, and he could miss the final 2 games of this road trip as well. And that's a big gap that he leaves. Like Couture is not only beneficial in specialty situations like the penalty kill, the power play, obviously, but even at even strength, he's one of their dominant forces, and they can ill afford to have him out of the lineup. San Jose, as a matter of fact, has gone 1 for 16 in their last 7 games on the power play. So a lot of that, I think, is attributable to his absence. Their defenseman, Mario Ferraro, is also in COVID protocol, and they're also without Balsers and LeBlanc with an upper body injury. The Sabres, on the other hand, they're kind of they're struggling as well. They're looking to end a 4-game winless streak. They've gone 0-2 in their last 4. They lost 3 players due to COVID. Just when they had gotten Alex Tuck and Peyton Krebs, they're back on that list. They have a Pozo that's still out of action, and I think Fitzgerald as well. So it's a bit tough. It's the bright spot for Buffalo is their goaltender, 22-year-old Luukkonen, who has sported a 254 goals against average, a 927 save percentage in the last 7 games that he's played, although he's allowed 4 goals in each of his last 2 games. So he's definitely a bright spot for them moving forward, but Buffalo's still in tough hands. I think San Jose will win this game on the road, Coach. I'm going to take them to win by a score of 3-2.
Sorry about that. I go with Buffalo.
Okay.
Same score.
And now we have another heavyweight tilt, right? We got Calgary traveling this time from Florida to Tampa. Daryl Sutter hopes that the Flames can got their rude awakening and their eye opener when they played Florida. They saw that even though they're the leaders with their road wins, they're the leaders in terms of scoring on the road. There were key points in the game that they didn't match up very well at all with Florida. So they're hoping that that's not the case tonight as well with Tampa Bay. They're getting Tampa Bay, on the other hand, has been getting some key contributions from guys like Andre Palat, and of course Braden Point has been on fire since he's come back. We hear that it's possible that Kucherov, he's been practicing with the team. I don't know if he's going to be playing tonight, but he is very, very close to returning with the team. So here we are. We're adding another offensive arsenal to Tampa Bay's team here. You look at other guys that have stepped up, and you know the biggest one that comes to my mind again is Corey Perry. Like in his 35th outing with the Lightning so far this year, he's netted his ninth goal, which took him 49 games last year with Montreal to do. So that's a key contribution from many different players, and of course they have the goaltending that's solid. I'm going to take Tampa Bay to win this game, Coach, 4-3. I think it might go to overtime, but they definitely can do it.
Tampa Bay.
And next we have who is it? Columbus at 15-1, traveling to New Jersey. Columbus' aim is to put the brakes on their considerable slide tonight when they face off with the Devils. The Jackets fell for the 10th time in their past 13 games. They've gone 3-9-1, following most recently that 7-2 shellacking at the hands of Tampa Bay. They've actually in their last two games, they've yielded 7 goals in each one. And that's never been a trademark of Columbus. If anything, they've always been a hardworking, blue collar type of team that's been able to keep the puck out of the net. I think the biggest problem there, from the limited amount that I've seen with Columbus, is they're spending a lot of time in their own behind their own blue line. And sooner or later, that kind of stuff will fatigue your defensemen, and that's when you start to make mistakes, and obviously the turnovers start to happen by the dozens. New Jersey had been heating up by virtue of recording 3 straight 1-goal victories before they had that 5-3 loss to the Bruins on Tuesday. They're without Dougie Hamilton, Nico Hershiser, also Sheragovich and Pavel Zacha. So they have some key guys out of the lineup, which will hurt them. However, guys like Jesper Bratt have recorded 5 goals lately, and he's kind of contributed, and it's good to see from a young player like him. I'm going to go with New Jersey since they're at home. I think Columbus has a lot of gaps to address. I think they'll win 4-3, Coach.
Same thing.
And next we have the two teams that love each other, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, with Pittsburgh on a back-to-back traveling to Philadelphia. The Flyers are going to try to avoid a 4-game losing streak. The Flyers, they opened up their 4-game road trip with that 3-2 overtime win against Seattle, and then followed by losses to San Jose, LA, and Anaheim, I believe. Philadelphia lost to the Ducks without their captain, Claude Giroux. Also, Provorov, both are in the protocol recall. They are the Penguins. What can you say about them? We talked about it a little bit earlier. They're getting now Jarry back in net. We saw yesterday that when the goaltending wasn't going well, they brought in Jarry, and he didn't allow anything. He really stymied St. Louis and gave Pittsburgh the opportunity to come back in that game. So I don't expect this to be much different. I think this will be a rough game, but I think Pittsburgh will pull it off just on the merit of having Jari back in net. I'm going to go with 4-3.
5-2.
Okay. And that brings us to probably one of the most interesting games of the night, when Florida, who doesn't travel necessarily that well, or at least they don't play as well as they do at home. I wouldn't say that they don't travel well. They go to Dallas, who's probably the most difficult team to figure out in the league. The Stars haven't played since December 20th. So, you know what? If I'm Florida, I'm all over them right away. Try to get as many goals as you can in that first period, and sort of dictate the pace of the game, take them off their game plan, and so on. The number one line for Dallas has been producing. The problem really has been with their secondary scorers, like guys like Sagan, and we talked about Radulov yesterday, Jamie Benn. All three of them have minus numbers. Sagan, I think, was at -9. Radulov at -14. Benn at -2. And none of them have more than, I think, 12 or 13 points. So that's not enough from your second line. That trio combined is really hurting them. I don't know what the answer for them will be, but I think that the next few weeks will determine what Dallas does. If they don't get back into this race and in a hurry, and it'll come with guys, those three guys contributing, then come trade deadline time, we're looking at the possibility that one, two, or maybe all three might be traded to teams that need an experienced player. The Panthers, well, what can we say about the Panthers? They've been very, very impressive. They're ranked number 2 in the league in scoring. They're getting great contributions from Huberdeau, Barkov, even though not since he's come back as much as he was beforehand. Duclair, Bobrovsky's been solid in net. Ekblad's been solid on defense. They're a deep, deep team. And when you look at even guys on their fourth line like Lomberg and Hornquist, and they're contributing, you know that you can easily roll out your 4 lines out there and you're not hurt at any point. Each line becomes a threat. I'm gonna stick with Florida with this one, Coach. I think that they'll win 4-3.
All right.
And next we have Winnipeg and Colorado. Talk about a heavyweight battle. Winnipeg were in the midst of a 3-game losing streak when Maurice was suddenly, well, he resigned. And things have changed under their interim coach, Dave Lowry. They've gone 3-1-0 since he stepped in for Maurice. And I really think the key thing with that I'm seeing so far in terms of a difference with Winnipeg is the fact that Lowry has emphasized players going to the net. And when you're in the corners, you have to make sure you win those little battles. Not that Maurice necessarily wasn't saying that, but I think he was more loyal to certain players and line combinations, whereas Lowry's trying to mix that up and seeing what he's getting. And, he's the response by guys like, well, Kyle Connor's been doing it all year, but we're starting to see Cobb again come into the picture, and a couple of other players that have woken up. And the defense seems a little bit more with an edge they're playing. On the other hand, we have Colorado, who always scores by the bunches. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. The other night was just a treat to see guys like Makar playing. And when you consider, that Colorado's doing this, and if I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, McKinnon's got only 2 goals. That's pretty amazing. I think this will be a tough game. I think Colorado will score into an empty net at the end, and they'll win 4-2.
Colorado 4-2, but no empty net.
No empty net. Okay. And that takes us to Chicago, heading into Arizona. Um, the Blackhawks have dropped 5 straight games, but in that time, 3 of them have been in overtime, in all fairness. We have seen a little bit of improvement on their behalf. Fleury's definitely kept them in many of those games. They're struggling to gain their footing, from what I can see. Although it's nice to, recently, and I know it's a small sample, but Taves has scored all 4 of his goals in the last 8 games. So maybe that's a good sign that he's waking up and able to contribute. I think we're going to see the newly acquired gentleman from the trade, Sam Lafferty, playing tonight. He comes with 2 assists in 10 games. It was a tough trade to understand, really. I didn't quite get that trade, but obviously they saw something in him that suits their needs. And the Coyotes are looking to gain some kind of positive traction. They sit last in the NHL at the current time after that 3-1 loss to the Winnipeg Jets, and they're in the midst of a 1-7-1 skid themselves. I'm going to take Chicago to win this game, 3-2, Coach.
4-3. You can start with the next game. The next game is
Detroit?
New York Rangers.
New York Rangers. Okay. So the Rangers, they're coming off an impressive back-to-back on home ice wins, where they've been doing really, really well. I'm personally very surprised by that, and not because I didn't expect that they had it in them, but they were playing some tough teams in that interim. The Rangers are on a 3-game winning streak after getting those 2 wins against Tampa and the Oilers. Zibanejad heads into this road trip with 6 goals in his past 6 games, so he's been hot. Guys like Chris Kreider is contributing almost on a nightly basis. I think he should be up to, I think, 20 goals. Goudreau scored for the 3rd time in 3 games. Even Ryan Strome produced his first 3-point game this season, and he's got 12 points in the past 13 games. So they're starting to get contributions from other players outside of that first line, and they're doing it with guys like Panarin out of the lineup, which has meant guys like Alex Lafreniere has moved up and has gotten more ice time, and they've been doing really, really well. They responded to that. Vegas is they earned a 3-2 shootout win the other day against New York. I think that Vegas, if they can ever get all their players back healthy, I know Stone now has been practicing with the team, and that should be a big help if they can get him back in the lineup. We know that they've lost Pacioretty for a while. They're waiting for Eichel to come back in. Leonard's coming back into the fold as well, and we know the value that he brings to the team as well. So if they ever can get their team together, this is healthy, this is going to be a very dangerous team, and this is going to be a great game tonight. But I'm going to take Vegas to win this in overtime, 3-2.
I go Rangers, honestly, in our tap. I have no clue. The only thing I'll go there is because I think Gerard Gallant put some money on the table. and that's the only thing I'm thinking. Otherwise, I don't have no. You know, what I mean, this is a really,
Oh, it's
really hard
hard.
game.
You know what? If I knew that Stone is playing, I would definitely say Vegas. I'm kind of I'm just hedging my bets here and going with them, but it could go either way, honestly. Next game we have Detroit and
It's
Anaheim.
canceled.
Uh, oh, right, that's right. That's the game that got canceled. So what's left? Nashville and LA, I guess, is the only one. Nashville's traveling to LA, victorious in 9 of 11 and looking for a third straight victory. The Predators will defy all odds again, and they'll try to keep the Kings from winning three in a row. Nashville's 9-1-1, including a strong 6-1-1 record on the road. Guys like Forsberg have been amazing for them. Their defense has been extremely solid. Saros has kept them in every single game. I mean, just the other night he made 41 saves and leads in most of the categories. He's got a 181 goals against average and 940 save percentage, while winning 9 of his last 11 starts. When you got goaltending like that, it's very difficult to lose, right? It keeps the entire team in the game, even when they're not playing as well as they should. With LA, they returned to the ice for the first time since that 6-3 win over Philadelphia, the sixth in their last 9 games overall. And they have won 4 of their last 5 at home. I think that Quick is confirmed to be the starter tonight, but he's allowed 14 goals over his last 4 starts. So it'll be interesting to see which version of Quick we get tonight. I'm going to take the sure bet here. I think Nashville should win this handily, 5-2.
4-3. We are at the end of the end, so let's move on to the next one over there. We are honestly at the fantasy, and yesterday we did the same number, the point. I believe I'm still behind for 1 point.
And that's correct. So I'm going to take Nashville for my goaltending. I'm going to take Roman Yossi and Makar.
I have Pittsburgh defense for you now.
No.
It's me.
That's you.
I put Colorado for you. No.
No, thank you. I'll take Nashville.
All right.
Yeah. And Yossi and Makar on defense. And then forwards, I'm going to take Kaprizov, Point, and Hooby Dooby Doo.
I was not sure to put Kusharov. Kelly said Makar. She took Killorn. That's a good pick, Kelly. They bring Cat for Yamo. That's a good pick over there. My internet is slow. Did you get all my mine, Richard? Yes, all the way there. Coach, j'ai une question. Peux-tu faire des villes de mon équipe sometimes si tu veux? Malheureusement, Alexis, je peux pas si la game est trop de bonne heure à 7 heures. Je suis pas certain si je vais revenir à 8h30, donc on va voir. Yamo said Rust. That's another great pick about that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have 10 games. Andy's Rantanen, that's another one I was thinking. They bring Cat, Coach. Yes, I know.
There's a lot of good ones out there tonight.
But I need to cut the point at ENORTAP, so I go with Barkov versus Huberdeau. We'll see what happens. Coach, your voice is going go down. Yes, my voice is going down. Look, unfortunately, about that. So before we leave, what are you doing, Coach? I don't know yet if I'm doing on tonight. You have to follow up with the Hockey Initial Show YouTube channel. If I'm back, it's going to be the game Florida Panthers versus the Dallas Star. I think the game has 8:30. Then we're going to follow up after that, the Vegas, everything like that. So we'll see what happens. But Mr. ENORTAP, you've been to 10 games. Honestly, we lost one. Great job to give us all the information. But before we leave, what you're focusing more tonight?
I think that there's at least 3 games that we talked about very quickly that are going to be very, very exciting. I think they'll. I like the Calgary. I like the Calgary Tampa game. I'm interested in seeing what happens with that Pittsburgh and Philadelphia game for other reasons. The Winnipeg and Colorado should be a doozy. And the Rangers in Vegas will be another great game, I think.
We have a couple of games I
some
think is getting
excellent hockey.
interesting right now tonight, right? I want to see what Minnesota look like with Boldy and Rosie. They struggled for the last couple of games, I would see. Boston are on the really high, you know what I mean? Like they win the last 3 games, I can recall it, something like that.
They're hot.
They're on the race of the playoffs, so that's the team. Pittsburgh, can they get 10? That's the one I'm looking for. The Rangers, Vegas, that's really I want to look in because the money is be on the table. And then the Florida, what they look like on the road. That's something I want to see about that. They are the biggest game for me overall. Nashville on the roading, also road. Kings need to win that W. And honestly, ENORTAP, if Los Angeles win tonight, Edmonton are out. Los Angeles can get in the standing of the lineup. So really, really interesting to see that, honestly, around the board. Before we leave, hello, Sava. Luki, welcome aboard. A lot of hockey tonight. Jose. Minnesota and Boston should be a good game. I agree with you. McEnroy is out. That goes. He should take some risk here. I should go back at the ENORTAP Saloon. Fisherman Friends would be good for you. That'd be great. But before we leave, I want to remind you one more thing, guys, for sure. You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Yes, Kelly, I got your mom. So tomorrow on the labor board, I'm going to put Kelly and then Darling. If she got it, 1-0 for Darling tomorrow. Nicola, have a good night. Around the Kings 20. Have an amazing, great night. Mr. ENORTAP, another great performance of you tonight. You're hanging this.
Always a pleasure.
Carry on the team all the way for the Hockey National show. And I think we need to give the first star tonight, Mr. ENORTAP, to Yamo Vertanen. They find a picture of Zuccarello and Forsberg. Mr. Yamo Vertanen, it's all about you tonight. So that's awesome. Good job, everybody. Before we leave, I want to remind you, of course, be well, be healthy, and finally, not only dominate your day, find a way to dominate your 2022. Mr. ENORTAP, have an amazing, blessing night, everybody.
Coach, you too. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Good night to everyone.